Now, another way that we can find a missing side is to use SOHCAHTOA. Right? And so let's remind ourselves, what does SOHCAHTOA really stand for? So I'm going to write out the letters for SOHCAHTOA. And what those are is the S on SOHCAHTOA refers to the trig function we call sine. The C refers to the trig function cosine. And the T refers to the trig function tangent. And so those have very specific ratios. And so again, what SOHCAHTOA does specifically is it relates an angle to a ratio of two sides of a triangle, specifically a right triangle. So it relates an angle to a ratio of two sides. And so the importance of that is that you either need to know an angle and one side to find a missing side, or you need to know two sides to find an angle. So let's look again, let's draw a little right triangle because we want to be able to label some information. And so in most triangles, we call the vertices of the triangle by letters. And so these letters are our angles. So A, B, and C, this would refer to the angle specifically, and that would refer to right here. So the measurement going from, say, B, A, C, that's the angle. Again, the little right triangle part refers to our hypotenuse. Oops. And so depending on what information we have, if we have an angle, we can, and one of these sides, any of the three, we can find the other side. So let's look at the OHAHTA. All right, so we're going to break it down. All right, and so what SOHCAHTOA does, it refers to using the sine, all right, which we are talking about an angle, and the opposite leg, and the hypotenuse. Those are the different sides and angles that we can use when we're looking with sine. So if I'm looking at this angle, I have to be able to use the information about the opposite leg, or the opposite side, and the hypotenuse. All right, so everything refers to a specific area of the triangle. All right, opposite O, hypotenuse H. When you are dealing with cosine, which is the CAH, the C lets you know, let's use the cosine of an angle. And now the adjacent side, or adjacent leg, and again, still using the hypotenuse. And so now adjacent refers to the one right next to. So if this is the angle, this is the leg that is directly next to it. You're actually touching the adjacent leg. And then the last one we have is the tangent. All right, so again, the T refers to, we want to use the tangent angle. And whatever angle we are referring to, we want to look at the ratio of the opposite leg and the adjacent leg. And so this is how we kind of remind ourselves which different parts of a triangle we are talking about when we're using these specific trig functions. So oftentimes, if I am looking at angle A, for example, I would say the sine of angle A is the ratio of the opposite side over the hypotenuse. Or I could say the cosine of angle A is the ratio of the adjacent leg over the hypotenuse. Or again, tangent of angle A is the opposite leg over the adjacent leg. And so when we're doing these, for right now, we're going to start with everything being in a degree. And so it's really important that right here where we're talking about A, that when we are referring to a degree, that we actually write a degree symbol.